Story 1, run away. Even if he is 2 feet away from me, he will never make up the distance. Then, when we are both exhausted and collapse on the floor, I will call the police and have him charged with attempted murder. After all, he was chasing me. But if he also runs away? Yeah, I do not know. Story 2. It would be very easy to win in a fight against me, since I am neither very strong nor do I have a good fighting technique. The only problem I would have trying to defeat myself is that I am neither very strong nor do I have a good fighting technique. Story 3. I would show my clone Instagram pictures of people I know living it up abroad in places like Mallorca or Mykonos and having a good time. My clone would cry and pass out due to a fear of missing out attack. Story 4. I would do the exact opposite of what I would do, so I completely throw myself off with something unexpected. There is a small chance it could backfire. Story 5. Buy him some tacos. Nothing defuses my will to fight like offering me tacos as a peace offering and then bashing me in the back of the head while I'm getting into it. Story 6. We would just psych each other out until we were both in the mental unit. Either that, or we would have a duel and both die from an underarm or side boob injury. Laugh out loud. Story 7. It would be hard since a retaliation could be dangerous, especially to my copy, as we would be of identical size. I guess the element of surprise, like a rear chokehold, and keep on bashing his face. Story 8. Nobody is bulletproof, including myself. Try to get the drop on me with an ambush, but it really depends if we both have the same idea. The best man gets to keep living. Laugh out loud. Story 9. Once I reached full replication and they set us all free from the lab, I would post on Reddit, asking what the standards would do and then do that to the donor shell. Remove the corrupted version and take what he had. There can be only one. Story 10. If I were fighting a copy of myself, my strategy would be to feign some terrible physical or emotional injury. This would immediately flood the other version of me with sympathy and concern, activating caretaking mode and ending the fight. Story 11. Injure their foot in some way. I cannot stand foot injuries. I can handle any other part of my body getting hurt, but when it comes to my feet, I cannot. I have sensitivity issues with my feet. My dog stepped on my toe the other day and broke the skin a little bit. I would not let anyone near me for 10 minutes. I do not go barefoot anywhere, not even on the carpet at home. Causes a lot of pain to put my feet on the ground. My whole body cringes. I cannot even think of pain happening to anyone's feet without getting this whole body cringe feeling. Story 12. I am mostly anti-confrontational. So simply approaching with something like, "Hey man, I really don't want to fight. This is dumb." My copy would surely agree completely and let his guard down. Then take him down in one swift motion. Story 13. Hit me where I had head and neck surgery. It would be one of those things, though, that if it didn't take me out with the first shot, it would certainly elicit a lethal response. Story 14. I would explain that if the two of us were to fight, the massive power from our fists could destroy the whole world. The other guy is so stupid he would probably believe it. Story 15. Ask about that one crazy story I never get to tell but really want to because it's so messed up, and talking out loud to a person helps process it. The clone would talk for at least half an hour, and I could probably sneak away without the clone realizing it. Story 16. Tell them I was from the future and need to tell them something important is about to happen. Get in close to whisper it into their ear and then choke them out. Story 17. Present a bunch of strippers in front of me, and I'll just walk away. Vile as my humor and sensibilities are, I don't like dealing with frustration like that. In fact, I would rather be punched in the gut. It would hurt less. Story 18. Push her over hard. I'm suffering from a fibromyalgia flare right now, and being pushed over like that would make me bedridden for a good couple of weeks. Story 19. My non-serious answer is I'd walk out like Scott versus Nigga Scott from the film Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Friends with plans to hang out because we're cool dudes. The serious answer is we would probably get locked in a game of hide and seek or a sniper battle, with both of us trying to hide for too long, then deciding to relocate at the wrong time so quietly one of us would eventually get the drop on the other totally by accident. Story 20. I struggle with high kicks and blocking spinning elbows. I will use that to my advantage. I also use low sweeps and shin kicks. So, every time the opponent hits me with a shin kick, I'll dodge it with my shin and counter with something like a takedown. If I could get a chokehold lock, that would be great. I'll try fighting left-handed. Against me, it would be easier to block those low kicks. I will also try some unexpected fake punches and then counter. My best combination against myself would be block, right hook, spinning elbow. If I can get his stamina down, then for sure I'll just go with low kicks to hurt one of his legs somehow. After that, it would be very easy to take him down or knock him out. I practice Muay Thai. Story 21. Make the first move because I know myself and I'm definitely afraid of a fight and also indecisive enough to not do anything, hoping it would de-escalate and kind of just go away. Story 22. Just like the Witcher 1 against himself in the books, his code prohibits him from fighting with intelligent beings. I know I just don't fight, ever. I've been beaten before, never thrown a single punch back. I just don't fight under any circumstances. Story 23. I would tell him his parents never really loved him, and he was a disappointment to almost everyone he has ever had a relationship with. Really work his inner fears. Tell him he's not nearly as good a cook or artist as he thinks he is. Just really shake him down with shame. Then I would really have a go at him. Tell him his breath is bad and people think he's too loud and that he's not nearly as smart as he thinks he is. Then I would offer to buy a couple of drinks for him and get him drunk and hug him a lot and make him cry so hard that he just folds into a blubbering mess in front of me. Then I would take his wallet because forget that guy. Story 24. Tell him all the mistakes he made in life. He would fall down and cry uncontrollably. Then, with that opportunity, I would kick him straight in the skull with steel-toe boots. Story 25. Assuming the exact copy appears out of nowhere, he may be an exact copy of me, but he isn't me. He doesn't have my bank account, my car, my home, my property. I get in my car that I own and run him over. He won't have a car because I don't steal, and therefore he won't steal. Checkmate. Story 26. Very few of these answers address the fact that anything you would think of, your copy would also think of, so avoiding a stalemate would be extremely difficult. Thus, I would seek some kind of environmental advantage like an improvised weapon or sand to the face. Something I had access to that he did not, based on our positions in physical space. Story 27. I think we would feign camaraderie while plotting to take the other out, only to inevitably disappear into the wild after a spree of bank robbing, with one of us having a confirmed alibi on camera somewhere. Story 28. Listen, only one of us has to die. Since I am the original, I have wanted this much longer. Here are my phone, keys, and wallet. Good luck. Story 29. It would be a mutually assured destruction situation. Assuming it is an exact copy down to the skill sets and knowledge I have, we would have the same weaknesses and know exactly what to target and how to target it. We would both go for and likely succeed in the kill shot simultaneously and leave a mess for whatever poor soul comes across the scene. Story 30. We had both probably come to the conclusion that we already fight with our brains constantly, so we might as well combine our efforts and destroy our mortal enemy. Story 31. That could never happen. It would be like placing two sleeping cats in a room and asking them to fight. I'm the most passive, non-confrontational person I know. Story 32. Well, it's not that easy, though. From the moment my copy decides to attack me, we are already different people. Also, we wouldn't act the same anymore since the copy would fight to kill, and I, a very nice person, would fight to survive. So, I would probably get beaten by my copy, I think. Story 33. The only fight you really win is the one you don't have. I'd ask him if his wife is interested in threesomes, or if he wanted to flip a coin to see which of us is the bottom. Story 34. Exploit the low self-esteem. Your husband feels trapped in your marriage. You are actually a pretty bad mom. People are grossed out by your body. She should just go ahead and jump off a bridge and save me the effort. Story 35. Point out how pointless a confrontation would be. Let apathy and depression take over. My wife would probably find us both lying on the floor discussing childhood trauma and our favorite feel-good movies. Story 36. I would ask him if he would want a Dr. Pepper, my favorite drink. He would say yes, and I would pull out my spare can. Then, without warning, I would hurl it at his face, breaking his nose, and then use the opportunity to knock him unconscious. Story 37. I think both of us would agree that we should avoid fighting at all costs, but if it was like a gladiator fight to the death or something, we would easily agree to a game of rock, paper, scissors and then determine the most painless and quick way to kill the loser. I know this would happen because my first thought is that I would be willing to sacrifice myself for my clone, but then I realized my clone would also do the same for me, so this was the most logical conclusion. Story 38. The one who attacks first wins. I might take environmental advantage, stand on higher ground, or grab that wayward makeshift weapon. Anything to get the upper hand. Story 39. Honestly, I would totally just rile myself up, and knowing that I am at a point of being a raging bull, be calm and outsmart myself. At some point, I'll want to kick my ass, and that's when I make my move. Story 40. Neither of us would want to fight. I think we would settle the matter by finding out who can sleep the longest. The first one who cannot lie there and go back to sleep anymore is the loser. Story 41. Flinch first. My clone hesitates, confused about why we are even fighting. Then we awkwardly agree to split the rent instead. Turns out, clones hate IKEA assembly too. Story 42. Based off my Elden Ring experience, I would strip down before she shows up, then put my clothes back on and grab a weapon. She is left defenseless while I am geared up. Story 43. I think I would order a pizza from Marco's and have him go pick it up. When I got back, we would hit the bong and chow. I would tell him I am sorry, but I have beaten you, and the other me would simply accept it. Story 44. Offer myself ice cream and then sucker punch myself while my other self was enjoying the ice cream I would normally be enjoying. Then I'd celebrate the win by enjoying some ice cream. Easy peasy. Story 45. Putting something in my ear so I can't hear anything and start playing Bling Bling by 24 Tim. The Germans in this chat know that this would make your ears bleed. Story 46. Knowing me, I would try to distract myself with talking as I try to slowly walk around to a more advantageous spot. But as soon as I realize I am doing that, I am going to use my advantage. Really, it depends on the location. If I am in a better position, I am going to kick my ass. If I am not in a better position, then I am going to kick my ass. Story 47. If that dude is actually identical to me, there's no fight. It's hands up, a short look at each other, a group realization about how out of shape we are. Then he's in charge of dinner, and I'm in charge of drinks and dessert. Story 48. By paying me a lot of money to forfeit, I know myself really well and know that unless I have a better option, if I'm somehow forced by circumstance to fight myself, it's mutually assured destruction. Story 49. I have a bit of a bad knee, so I would kick the sh*t out of it. Just two exact copies of each other, kicking each other in the knee for eternity. The world turns, day turns to night, and the sun slowly dies. The earth cools, all life on our home planet is lost. Yet my copy and I remain. Kick, kick. Story 50. By giving him a set of tasks and telling him to finish them within a certain time frame, and also giving him an iPhone with many unread messages and other notifications, he will become distracted and not finish these tasks, thus feeling defeated. Story 51. I mean, if it is an exact one-to-one copy with the same information and preparation time, and we are forced to have a winner and loser, there is no way to make it better than 50-50 odds. Therefore, I would just flip a coin and my mirror self would agree. The odds are not favorable, but anything else just leaves both of us more inconvenienced or injured. In the wise words of Futurama, perfectly symmetrical violence never solved anything. Story 52. 1. Identify my weakness. Knowing my copy would do the same. Thinking a step ahead. Paralyze myself and the copy in an eternal circle of thought processes. And wait until we both collapse because of the mental drain. Final. Realizing there cannot be a winner, go the pacifist way and make peace. Story 53. Neither one of us would be too inclined to actually fight, so we would probably settle it with a thumb war or a game of Go Fish. Or just call the whole thing off and go get fajitas. Story 54. Are they going to have the same mindset and everything? Or is it just an exact copy of my physical body? If they have my personality, then they will not want to hurt anybody and will probably make attempts at de-escalation. If they are an evil twin type of deal, I guess I would shoot them or something. I would have to go to therapy afterwards, though. Story 55. An exact copy of myself would know not to fight me. My body is incredibly durable, so you cannot achieve a one-hit win. Both of us would receive very severe injuries as a result. Story 56. With my fists. And once we've gotten that all out, we'd probably smoke each other out and play video games together. I'm taking him out to brunch and bringing him to therapy later. Story 57. Negotiations. I'm a reasonable guy. I don't want to fight because that hurts, win or lose. So we sit down, rationally figure out a plan, and see what happens. Story 58. I would have to set up a sniper position from a distance because he is crafty, paranoid, and has guns. But no one expects a sniper shot when they are throwing out their trash. Story 59. Important question. Is this clone exactly the same as I currently am? If prosthetic legs count as a cosmetic difference that they might not have, then I have an advantage. Story 60. I would not trust that the fireman, the arm, Philip Gerard, and Lady Dido would set an elaborate trap so that by the time I got to him, the exact copy of myself would already be immobilized or even destroyed. Story 61. He would not need to be defeated. Any single version of me with my memories would understand that two of us can do so much more than a single one of us. And if he disagrees, then he can have my life.